The Adesanyas were a wealthy Nigerian family living in Lagos. Mr. Adesanya was the managing director of a top oil company, while his wife, Mrs. Adesanya, was a senior accountant at a multinational firm. They lived in a sprawling mansion in Ikoyi with their twin daughters, Tola and Tai, who had just turned 4. Despite their wealth, the couple's busy schedules left little time for their children. To ensure the house was in order, they hired a maid, Eket, who cooked, cleaned, and left by 6 p.m. daily. She had no interest in babysitting or engaging with the children, as that wasn't part of her job description. On Tola and Tai's 4th birthday, their parents tried to make up for their absence by throwing a lavish party. They invited friends and family, hired entertainers, and bought the girls expensive gifts, including the latest iPads. The twins were overjoyed, but still felt the ache of loneliness. After the party, the Adesanyas returned to their usual routine, leaving Tola and Tai in Eket's care. The girls spent most of their time playing on their iPads or watching TV. One evening, while scrolling through her iPad, Tola clicked on a web browser icon she hadn't seen before. Curious, she navigated to a strange website with videos and pictures. Unbeknownst to her, she had stumbled upon an adult site. Confused but intrigued, she called Tai to watch with her. "What is this?" Tai asked. "I don't know, but look, they are playing," Tola replied innocently. The twins watched the videos with a mix of curiosity and naivety, unaware of the inappropriate nature of the content. The next day, Tola found a cucumber in the kitchen. She remembered something from one of the videos and suggested they try it. "Let's play like those people in the video," she said. Tai hesitated but eventually agreed, trusting her sister. When they tried to mimic what they had seen, Tai screamed in pain. Alarmed, they stopped immediately. However, their curiosity didn't fade, and they continued experimenting, thinking it was just another game. Over the years, their secret game became a routine. By the time they were 10, it had become a deeply ingrained habit. Meanwhile, their parents remained oblivious, preoccupied with work. They rarely asked about their daughters' activities, trusting that Eket and the expensive gadgets would keep them entertained. Tai and Tola rushed home from school that afternoon, excited as always. After finishing their lunch, they giggled and whispered to each other before dashing into their room to play that game, their secret game. Unknown to them, Eket, their nanny, was also home. She had decided to clean their room, unaware of what she was about to witness. As she opened the door, her eyes widened in shock. Tai and Tola froze in fear. Their faces drained of color as they saw Eket standing at the doorway, her expression a mixture of disbelief and fury. "What kind of behavior is this?" Eket's voice trembled with anger. Tai stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. "We were just trying to pleasure ourselves." Eket gasped, shaking her head in disappointment. "Your parents must hear about this." The moment Eket stormed out, Tai and Tola turned to each other in panic. "We can't let her tell them." Tai whispered urgently. "What do we do?" Tola asked, her hands shaking. Tai thought quickly. "We need to make her look like a liar." "How?" "When she tells them, we'll cry and say she's lying. We'll say she has always hated us and wants to make our parents turn against us." Tola hesitated. "Will they believe us?" Tai smirked. "Of course. We are their daughters. They'll believe us over a maid." That evening, Eket waited for Mr. and Mrs. Adesanya to return from work. After dinner, she took a deep breath and reported what she had seen. Silence fell over the dining room. Mrs. Adesanya's face twisted in disbelief. Before she could react, Tai and Tola burst into tears. "Mummy, she's lying," Tai cried. "She hates us. She's always looking for a way to get us in trouble," Tola added between sobs. Eket's eyes widened. "What? No. I saw them." Slap. Mrs. Adesanya's hand struck Eket's cheek hard. "If I ever hear such nonsense from you again," she warned, her voice laced with venom, "you will be fired immediately." Eket held her burning cheek, staring at the twins in shock. Tai and Tola exchanged secret glances, their plan working perfectly. Eket swallowed hard. She knew what she saw. But now, she had a choice: stay silent or risk losing her job. One morning, Mrs. Adesanya forgot an important file at home and rushed back to retrieve it. As she entered the twins' room, she was horrified to find them engaged in their game. "What on earth are you doing?" she screamed. The twins froze in fear, unable to speak. Mrs. Adesanya, shaking with rage and disbelief, grabbed a cane and threatened to discipline them. When Mr. Adesanya returned that evening, his wife narrated what she had witnessed. She insisted on beating the girls, but her husband stopped her. "Wait, Funmi," he said. "Let's understand why they are doing this." Reluctantly, she agreed. They sat the twins down and gently coaxed them to explain. Through tears, Tola and Tai revealed how it all began, from discovering the website to their experiments. Their parents were devastated. Mrs. Adesanya blamed herself, sobbing uncontrollably. "This is my fault. I've been too busy to notice what's going on in my own home." That day marked a turning point for the Adesanya family. Mrs. Adesanya resigned from her job to focus on raising her daughters. She became actively involved in their lives, monitoring their activities and having open, honest conversations about boundaries, relationships, and respect for their bodies. Mr. Adesanya also adjusted his schedule to spend more time with his family. Together, they sought therapy for the twins to help them unlearn what they had been exposed to and heal from the psychological effects. Over time, the family began to heal. Tola and Tai developed a stronger bond with their parents, who made an effort to create a loving and supportive home environment. The twins excelled in school, participated in extracurricular activities, and rediscovered their innocence.